Hello, I'm Louise Roe and this is the SheerLuxe Show. Today is a parenting special and we are covering all ages and stages from tween high street fashion to nursery essentials, how to successfully navigate single parenting and everything you need for a newborn when you're out and about. Hi guys.
Good morning.
Hello.
Hi.
I'm joined by mother of three and Instagram sensation Louise Boyce, TV and radio presenter and mother of three Zoe Hardman, and entrepreneur and mother of one Kierra Campbell.
Yay.
Guys, welcome to the
Yay.
sofa.
Thank you.
It's
nice.
Yeah,
It's
it's a
so
naughty
nice.
one today. I think it's going to be.
Oh God,
yeah. Well, you're in.
Exactly. There you go.
So, first of all, we are going to talk about myths, right? Are there any things that when you became a mum, you thought, oh God, I'm going to really get excited about that part. I'm going to be amazing at the playing or dressing up or whatever.
Yeah. God, there's so many.
And then you're like, no, I'm awful at this and I don't like it.
Yeah.
So I was really excited just to have loads of cuddles and constantly be touched. But I actually realised my love language is not touch. And I'm actually kind of uncomfortable. Constantly being touched. And it was like something, I was like, oh my God, there's a baby sucking my boob. This couldn't be more touch if I tried. And it was a real, like, the first couple of months, I was like, oh gosh, I just...
Did you get a bit icky? Did you want...
Yeah, it made me be like, oh God, that's enough, stop.
Yeah.
But I had to kind of train myself because growing up, I wasn't like raised in a family that touched. We didn't cuddle and kiss.
Yep.
And I knew I wanted that for my daughter. So I literally had to be like, and kiss her again and cuddle her again, and just till I got used to it. So now, like, we can lay all day watching films, absolutely fine. But those first few months, I really was a shock to my system.
That is actually a very honest answer.
Yeah.
I went in deep.
Yeah.
I was going to say like baking cakes.
Oh God, it's awful.
Yeah, just the mess.
I hate it.
Yeah, the swimming.
I hate that too.
Oh, I hate swimming.
Swimming.
It's an
just
ordeal.
disgusting.
Oh, can we
It's an
talk about the
ordeal.
park?
The park. I mean, there's so many.
The park, there is nothing there for us. As in, like, how many years do
be
we
a
have
Prosecco
to...
truck.
Yeah, or a gin truck. Or
I thought about this because the entrepreneur in me is like, if there was a park that catered for the adults,
100%.
everyone would be happy.
What would that park have then? So Prosecco truck.
A bar.
Yeah, bar.
Yeah.
With
like-
a 2-drink limit.
A dance floor.
Yeah, some shopping, maybe.
For those boots. Show us the heels.
They're
I
nice,
don't know
aren't
which
they?
camera, but those boots are made for playgrounds.
I just think it's, and when I dread it, when I go like, what do you want to do today? And they go, let's go to the park. And I go, my whole soul crumbles inside. And I think, oh, not again.
Because it's like getting the shoes on, actually getting them out of the house. That's just a disaster.
Yeah.
But also one for me that, and is actually now happening now, was World Book Day. I thought I'd really enjoy that. I can't bear it.
I've not had
The
that
stress
yet. I
of
can't
getting
wait.
the kids for this.
Do you not just order it?
Yeah, I have now, but it's like last minute. I don't know if it's going to arrive in time. And
It's quite expensive too.
yes, it
actually, if
is.
you've got more than one kid, and because you might have a monkey outfit in the cupboard, but that's not what they want to be.
No,
and
and
so
it changes
you have
every
to be.
year.
Yes, you have to get something new, pretty much, or make something which is not.
My
I'm not-
dilemma is Kit's like, my youngest was like, yeah, I want to go as a ninja. And I'm like, yes, brilliant. So I was like, I knew we had a ninja outfit. So get him dressed up last night and he's got these really cool little like plastic sword things. And then he's like, where's the book? And I'm like,
Oh my God.
what do you mean? And he goes, there needs to be a book with the outfit. And I was like, you're telling me now? Are you joking? Like, so now
Actually, you've just reminded me. I need to outline the friggin' books.
you can't send them in an outfit. They have to have a book to go with the
so,
outfit.
hence the name
got
of
this
the
all
day.
to
It's not
the
that
worldwide day.
Such fun.
For every kid in the world.
But then you've got my 10-year-old who's now at that kind of weird, awkward pre-teen age where he doesn't want to dress up, but he kind of should. And I don't know if I should force it upon him or just let him be. I don't know. It's kind of like weird.
I'm going to throw a controversial one into the mix. I love reading and I love taking the kids to the library, and I know that you're a bookworm as well, but genuinely after 12 hours of rushing around all day, when I have to sit and read with them, or worse still, when they say, let me read.
Oh my God.
You go, oh, fuck.
Yeah.
No, you know it's going to be half an hour of them going over the same page, and you're like, I just read really fast. It's never well.
I did that last night, and she went, "Mummy, you just skip the bit where the mouse
they know.
I skipped one
They
sentence,
know.
and you saw. I'm not a big playground fan either, but then I also think part of all the things we've mentioned, or maybe you'll shoot me down, is to do with our weather, because going swimming, because we lived in LA for a long time, that going swimming was lovely because you were warm and you just took off your top and then you were in your cozy underneath. And same with parks and things. It's a bit different than like 17 layers and it's going to rain and you know. So
what's your worst one though?
No, it is the playground.
Is it the playground?
I'm really bad. I don't really do it.
I hate when I have to get into small talk with parents with my little half an hour to myself.
Yes,
And I'm
that's
just
so
like,
true.
This was supposed to be a break for me too.
Yeah, the small talk I am not a fan of. I'd rather just ignore, because you're right, you go to the park to kind of get some headspace, and when you see someone that you kind of know from the nursery or the school, you're like, morning, and I've got to talk to you.
Or they want to talk about the milestones in the park. You know, like, when did little Johnny start climbing up the rope by himself? And you're like, I genuinely don't care. Don't care. I don't care.
So guys, if you see these guys in the playground, do not approach.
But the same with swimming. Like, you bump into parents in the swimming pool and you're half naked. You're going, oh yeah. Are you looking at my son? You're like, you probably are. Great.
So you start going like this.
Out. Yeah.
I can imagine you doing it.
Just like,
that could be a video. I'm
thinking about it.
Yeah, make a reel.
About
okay, now on to a little bit of fashion. If you find it difficult to dress your 8 to 12-year-olds without them protesting too much, this is all the inspo you need. SheerLuxe's founding managing editor Laura Black and fashion editor Emma Bigger hit the high street to check out what Mango have to offer for that notoriously tricky age, the dreaded tweenagers.
We're in Mango and we're going to have a quick look around to see what's in store. I've got my eye on these. I thought these look quite cute.
Yeah, they're nice. Also, I love this.
Yeah, it's
like the Anina Bing one, isn't it?
It is, isn't it?
You see, that's 11 to 12, so it does go up quite.
Yeah, and I quite like that it's a bit cropped too.
Yeah.
So I think those, I feel like you need something a bit prettier on top. When they're not 12, they're more sort of 9. Sometimes you do need to soften it a little bit with something a bit more feminine and pretty.
I love that, $25.99.
Really sweet.
Really nice.
The paper bag style is quite sweet. Those are cute. Their shoes are really good here.
Yeah, they're really sweet. And look, these plain ones as well.
Yeah, really lovely.
Really lovely, classic plain.
And again, if they're a bit tricky as well, we were saying on the way here, if you want to get them out of gym leggings because you've got a slightly smarter event, then I don't know, a slightly, like those ones, a clean trainer. You could pair that with like some cool socks and a little skirt and it would feel a bit smarter. Yeah. I actually quite like that. My daughter would like that with leggings.
Oh look, this is cute.
Oh, I like
suit
those. Yeah, it's like got a matching top.
Yeah, love. So cute for the
That's
summer.
That's really nice. If they're into the sort of, they're slightly older and verging more on Luxe Girl, then that kind of cargo pant is going to go down well. That's sweet. I like that with trainers and chunky socks. If it had a little crop t-shirt or a pretty blouse.
So I'm in the boys section now because I've got 2 boys and I just love really simple classic things like these navy jeans and that chambray shirt. I'd probably put a plain white t-shirt.
I was going to say, would yours wear it undone with a white t-shirt?
Anything to get them out of jogging bottoms. This is nice, little knit.
Yeah, that's cute.
With these white jeans.
Yeah, those rolled up in the summer
so cute.
with some little navy espadrilles.
Yeah, love a stripe.
A bit more Spanish and classic.
I think basics like this are really good to find as well. Just like classic polos in like navy, white, grey kind of colours.
Actually, I really like the colour of that.
Yeah, that's nice.
That's a nice colour. Boys, it's more difficult for it to be really exciting, isn't it? Because classics are kind of going to last you a bit longer, particularly if you're passing it down.
I tend to buy them those kind of sweatshirts
that
they can just wear
them again.
Wear them again.
I think, again, that's quite a nice, smarter one, isn't it?
Because even if you put that with joggers, it still feels a bit more
Yeah, for sure. Round neck
exciting.
t-shirt and t-shirt underneath.
Little.
Oh yeah, they're cute.
So
if you're
cute.
or if you've got some summer event.
Little chinos and a shirt. Love.
Cute. I mean, who knew they did bridesmaids? If you're looking for a bridesmaid's dress, $65.99. Pretty. It's really pretty.
Also, how
Great
cute are
price
these
point.
PJs? love.
Oh my god, I love those. Oh my god,
Gorgeous.
sweet.
I want
love
those in adult size. They're
Yes.
so nice.
I always think that styling is so
cute,
sweet. Oh,
isn't
that's
it?
lovely.
Really sweet.
That,
Chunky
that,
sock.
and that.
There you go.
Boom, there's your outfit.
This is
Oh,
nice.
that's nice.
I can't actually find it in store, but I like it on the
Oh, I love
mannequin.
that styling. That's really,
Yeah,
sweet.
really sweet.
It's like an overshirt rather than, and actually,
Those trainers.
those are cool trainers.
Yeah, really nice.
Oh, love those. They
look
are
so
really
comfy
sweet.
as well. They're amazing as well. I love that colour.
One outfit.
So cute.
That's so sweet. Outfit number 2.
Look, those jeans have got a split up
Yeah,
there.
they're cool,
yeah,
aren't
very
they?
cool.
Oh, I love that. Have fun in the summer.
So cute.
Really sweet.
So my top pick from the boys department is this knitted jumper stripe, which is $19.99. Goes up to age 14. With these cool jeans.
Sweet.
And then I'd love, like these shoes, just look cute with it as well.
And nice they go up to age 14 as well, because lots of them don't go
Yeah,
quite
like,
as old
it's
as
one
that.
of the few that actually
Yeah.
do.
I think we've learned it's
What
quite
did you like? Where
it's
did you
quite
look?
a tricky time of year, I would say.
Yeah.
This kind of trans-seasonal. They
Mango
have
was
some
good.
great stuff in
Really
there. I'll
good.
definitely be going back. We hope you've enjoyed that. All details will be linked in the show notes below. And thanks for watching.
Oh, I love that. Good old Mango. I'm almost wishing away the baby phase to get to the high tops and those oversized hoodies. So cute. Do you guys have any favourite high street shops for kids?
For the kids.
I like Zara.
Me too.
Yes,
I was
very
about to
good.
say
Zara's
Zara.
good, yeah.
Yeah.
So the next topic to talk about is a big one for me, I'm sure for you guys too, and it's mum guilt. I don't know a mum, working, not working, who doesn't suffer from it at some point. And funny enough, there's no such thing as dad guilt.
But then why do we? Why do we? We all have it. It is a real thing. And I just remind myself that when I am away working, first of all, the kids are fine. They're absolutely fine. And it's, we need this time away. We need to do something for us.
Yeah.
When I come back, I'm actually a better
mum.
I'm a better mum.
Yeah.
Because I have that kind of, I've missed you. And
100%. They've missed you too.
Yeah, and they've missed me as well. And it's lovely. But I tried something different last night because I stayed away last night to be here. I had a little bit of mum guilt, but my middle child has my old iPad, and I set up his own Apple ID so we can FaceTime each other and I missed each other.
Yeah.
It's nice, but he does it all the time. So yesterday when I was like, I'm going to relax in my hotel room, he's FaceTiming me. I did his homework with him over FaceTime. I'm like, where's your dad? This is my time.
He's
And
kicking
I was
back with
like,
his feet up on the
do you
sofa.
know what I mean? Yeah. And I was like, maybe this isn't a good idea, but it does happen.
I think we beat ourselves up constantly about not fulfilling everything to the best of our, or thinking we're not fulfilling everything to the best of our ability. Like, if you have a career and you want to go back to work, if you want to stay at home and be with them, if you want to see friends, there's so many things that we've got to do in our lives, but actually this guilt is like pulling us in all directions all the time. So first child, Luna, I just remember driving to work, and I think, she was about 3 months old, and I went back to just do one radio show. I think I was going to be away for like 6 hours. Howling my eye. I mean, crying in the car, crying all the way back, hated the work. So I was like, we've been absolutely fine. My husband was like, absolutely fine, having a really lovely time. Second time round with Kierra, I really wanted to start changing the narrative. And as you know, we've got Made by Mum as our podcast. We're really encouraging our listeners to do the same there, to be like, your child will flourish and you will grow as a person and they will grow as a person if you step away from them for a period of time. There's absolutely no shame in it.
I feel like mum guilt is something that's embedded within us. I think we're still trying to adjust to the fact that we don't have to be the main caregiver. I think that's very ingrained in our minds, and it's why dads might not feel it, because I got it with my partner. He definitely doesn't feel guilt if he's gone out and had a nice night. He's very happy about it. And I'll have fun, but I do feel that mum guilt. I've got an interiors brand called Poodle Blonde, and I gave birth a week after we launched the business. So from the start, it was like I was already splitting my time, which on reflection, it was kind of good because it meant that was the standard and that was what my child was used to. But yeah, mum guilt it's a funny one, and I definitely, like, I've kind of just accepted that it's going to be there, but I have to look after me. She gets a better mum at the end of it as well. So, it's like,
True, so true. And also, we're not just here to work and parent.
We all are intelligent women who know the logical side, the rational side of your brain is like, I shouldn't feel guilty for these things. I'm setting a great example. I'm earning money, or I'm like making myself feel happier, and I become a better mum. But it doesn't. For me, it's like a sort of constant little reminder. And my husband's very good at saying, "What? No, don't feel guilty about that." If I get to a point where I really feel out of whack, and I don't, because it comes in ebbs and flows.
Yes.
Then I do find that I will actually cancel something, and I will make sure there is more time, even if it is during a working day, which I feel like I'm lucky enough to do because I've got my own business, where I will just hone in on whichever little kiddie is there.
Yeah.
And that I do find actually really helps very quickly to feel better.
Kids know exactly how to tap into that side of you. Like my children regularly say to me, "Are you leaving in the night again?"
Oh, God.
When I'm going off at 5:30 in the morning to do a breakfast show, which FYI I've worked my arse off to get. And I'm like, I don't do it all the time. Like I literally do it twice a week or something. And there's, "Are you leaving me in the night again?"
No, they do.
They do know.
And I remember once actually in LA, she was one of the bosses at L'Oreal, and she said, you know, kids obviously soak up everything, the way you talk about things. And so she said, never apologise for going to work, because if they see that it's something you enjoy and you're proud of and you are being a role model, they will, it may take a minute until they're a bit older, but you will become like this sort of hero. And I've got adult friends. I didn't grow up with a working mum. I grew up with an amazing stay-at-home mum, but I don't have any memories of a mum who went to work. And so friends who do have actually hands down, all of them got the most incredible things to say about their mum and their childhood and watching that mother who they now have so much respect for. So those are the sorts of things that I hang on to.
When you're on an aeroplane and those masks come down and the instructions are put it on yourself first and then put it on your child. And I'm like, that's a good lesson in life, actually. Like if I'm okay and if I'm, doing, some work stuff and I'm away and it's good for me, then my kids will be okay.
Yeah. Do you ever feel, because I don't know what your setup is with like school pickups and stuff, but I imagine some you make and some you can't make. How does that make you feel if you see other mothers there that don't miss that they're, for drop-off and pick-up? Like, how do you process that?
I mean, a little bit of guilt does come in because, again, the kids are like, what, you're not there to pick me up?
Yeah.
Like it happened yesterday, and especially my 3-year-old. But, again, it's just something that we have to do. I don't want to kind of feel guilty for working and not being there, because I am there like 85, 90% of the time. Yeah. So, and also, there are 2 people in our relationship, and my husband works from home.
Yeah, I'm calling everyone to pick my kids up.
Yeah.
Nanny Pat, no, we've only met that once in the post office that time. But can you get the kids from school today? Because I haven't got a car.
It's a team, it's a village effort.
Yeah,
it is a team effort.
I mean, that's stressful when you don't know who's going to pick them up. That is a stress.
I kind of split it with my partner as well. I don't do all the pickups, and I'm always the mum that's late.
I love you for
but
that.
I'm always bring the vibes. I like pop in the nursery. I'm like, hi guys. Everyone gets excited. Teachers can't stand me.
I'm sure they love you.
Yeah.
If you are planning a nursery, the next segment really is a must-watch. CATHY TABNER, a wonderful midwife from My Expert Midwife, popped into the SL studio last week to talk to us through the practical essentials you need to make your nursery a safe and happy environment for both mummy and baby.
Hi, my name is Cathy and I'm a registered midwife at My Expert Midwife. Babies are on my radar a lot. I'm a mum and a grandma as well, and I see lots and lots of nurseries. Let me talk you through the essentials. How do you get that nursery set up for your baby? The best thing you can do is get yourself a thermometer. There is a sweet spot between 16 and 20 degrees centigrade is a lovely, lovely Goldilocks, not too hot and not too cold for your baby. Sadly, babies do overheat very, very easily. So this is something all nurseries should have. You're going to need the lighting checking. Now, your baby doesn't need it pitch black to go to sleep, but it certainly helps them to stay asleep in a dark room. So you can get a blackout blind, a portable one is great. You can take it on sleepovers and to friends and relatives. Your baby does not need to go to sleep in pitch black though. They should learn to go to sleep in all environments. They should learn to nap through the day and sleep all over the place by the time they're about 3.5 months old. Try and have them sleeping independently sometimes, not always in the pitch black. I think I would like to recommend a smart speaker for all homes. So the Alexa devices that can say, Alexa, play some white noise for 2 hours please, is a really good idea. A smart speaker in the nursery will play nursery rhymes, it will answer your queries, what's the weather forecast today, what's 2.7 kilograms in pounds, and you're voice activating it, so you've got your hands free for you and your baby. Next, I'm going to say a touch lamp. It's often forgotten, but a tiny dimmable touch lamp is an absolute lifesaver in the middle of the night when you need just enough light to see if your baby's done a poo or if they're okay. And you might not want to wake a sleeping partner. So having that dimmable, very, very low light is an absolute boon to help you sleep as well as keep your baby from waking up. Probably the biggest outlay I would say is a baby camera, and you get what you pay for here. So you can get the smart ones that sync to the phone, two-way microphones, motion censored, infrared night vision, they practically do it all. So choose a good, portable, rechargeable baby monitoring system that is your eyes and your ears on your baby when you're not in the room with them. That's your nursery, nice and safe. Now, what does your baby need? Well, first and foremost, they need you to protect them from something that really does happen a lot with babies. They get irritated, sore, damaged skin. So choose a skincare range that you can trust, and my expert midwife have done a lovely one. You want something that is gentle, naturally derived ingredients. We've run ours through dermatology testing. We know it will not disrupt your baby's delicate microbiome. So that's the invisible population of microbes, all beneficial to your baby's health. Now, they are washed off in baths. So we say don't overly cleanse your baby. 2 or 3 baths a week is all your baby needs. Always moisturise afterwards. Babies have transepidermal water loss, they lose water really, really quickly, and you put it back on with that moisturiser. So get yourself a good baby skincare range. Now then, as well as skin, what about those baby fingernails? They can be really sharp, and there's only one thing that cuts them, and that is a proper, dedicated electric nail trimming set. You'll be surprised at how tiny your baby's fingers are. Very, very easy to snip the skin on the baby's finger accidentally. Get yourself an electric little kit with a light, very, very quiet, won't upset you or your baby to use it. Now, an absolute lifesaver is a stretchy fabric baby sling, and these are really good for wearing indoors around the house with your baby, so you've got your hands free to do whatever you need to do. Your baby is safe and warm and secure. They're protected from getting too cold. Wear it a lot indoors, boost your hormones, get that surge of hormones in you and get that drop in cortisol in both you and your baby, and you've got your hands free to get on with your day as well. Next, I would say a funny little one really, a muslin square. This is a really traditional piece of kit, and there's nothing really that's ever outdone them. If you get a black and white patterned muslin square, that is really visually captivating for your baby. They love to see it. Their little vision's blurry at first. And this is the do-it-all cloth for the spit-ups and the burps and the wheeze and the poos. You can even roll them up and put them under a large breast, and it will elevate the breast and make it easy for baby to latch on. Really, really does it all. Next, I would say the sleep suits that your baby's going to wear. Remember, your baby sleeps 18 hours a day, so those gorgeous little outfits, those denims and those linens are going to look amazing, but your baby's going to spend a long time in sleep suits. Get ones with a zip that zip up or zip down. They make changes effortless and speedy and quiet. You don't want to be working out which popper goes where in the middle of the night. And think about a sleep sack. So the Lullaby Trust, an organisation all about sleep and safety, would recommend 2.5 tog sleep sack all year round if your temperature in your room is 16 to 20 degrees. So the good thing about sleep sacks is they replace the need for blankets. Blankets are not recommended. Transition onto blankets after your baby is maybe a year old or 18 months old. Your sleep sack is all you need. It won't get kicked off, and it's not as dangerous as having loose blankets in that baby's cot. Last but not least, what about your comfort? You're going to be in there settling, soothing, feeding, talking to your baby. You might even have a contact nap where your baby sleeps on you. Make sure you've got a comfortable chair in your nursery, and if it's got a footstool, that's even better. So 30% of us birth by C-section, and an abdominal wound is always nicer to feel if you can take the bend in your legs and bring your knees up a little bit. Perineum might still be sore in those early weeks and months, so Spritz for Bits is a great spray to get you comfortable. Nipple balms, make sure you're not ratty and irritated because you've got feeling something sore as you're sitting down with your baby. So there you go. I hope you found that useful. Remember, you're in the nursery, the baby's in the nursery, and this is your basic kit that you need from the get-go. You can get anything else you need as the weeks roll by, but just enjoy being all ready for your baby with this list.
Thank you so much, Cathy. That was wonderful advice. It's so easy to overbuy kit that you just don't need. I remember in LA when Honor was born, someone said, here's a wipes warmer.
Wow.
And it was like a sort of thing that you put the wipes in. And I understand maybe a cold wipe on a bare butt first thing in the morning might be a bit of a rude awakening. But it was also LA where it's like 30 degrees all the time. I was like, no, I'm not getting that.
We all do that
Wow.
though, don't we? Like you see an
Yeah.
advert and you're like, this thing will raise your child for you. And you go, how much?
But also for first kid, you're just a bit like, oh yeah, I want to be a good mum, I'll
you
get
buy
everything.
everything.
I bought so much. I've only got one child, but I bought so much. And now I know if I had another child, none of that stuff would get purchased.
No.
You just want everything. You want it perfect and
Do you
easy.
find that when you're breastfeeding, you're just like on Amazon going, I'll buy that and I'll buy that, and then it arrives the next day, you're like, oh God, I don't remember doing that, but all right.
Oh, those midnight feeds where I was just like bottle, and then I was like, oh, I don't have a hand.
Have you bought anything that is really good though, that you couldn't live without?
So I've got a Google Home little speaker in my daughter's bedroom, and I've set up so that at 7 a.m. it plays her playlist. So we've got two things, playlist first. So we've got a playlist for her, and the rule is whatever song it is, no matter how much it cringes you out, if she wants it on the playlist, you add it to the playlist. Yeah. So she's got her playlist and her Google Home. 7 a.m. her music starts and she wakes up feeling good. She'll stay in her room and she'll play for like an hour.
Oh my God,
just because
this is amazing.
it feels good. And I'm like just laying there listening to her dance and like, oh, this is lovely.
That's brilliant. That's actually brilliant.
Yeah, before that though, she used to come straight into my room and just throw toys on my head. So yeah, game changer.
Can she say, morning Google, can you play
Yeah, she talks to Google.
Bruno Mars Uptown Funk or whatever it is?
Google, can you turn up 5?
Oh, brilliant.
No,
That's so good.
Like Bruno Mars screaming in my ear.
Does she have good taste in music at least?
She does. She loves reggae, which I'm Jamaican.
Amazing.
So my boyfriend's half Jamaican as well, so very proud of that. But she also likes like a lot of ABBA. And
Nice. I'm feeling that.
she listens to everything.
imagine her dancing to reggae.
I just remember something. So the rule is whatever song, we'll add it to the playlist.
So cute.
I did her birthday party and I thought I'll just play Nola's playlist.
How old is she?
She's 4.
Oh, amazing.
And the first song that came on was this song about smoking ganja.
Oh my God.
And I was like, oh, all the middle class mums were there. I was like, oh, turn it off now. I completely forgot.
Oh my God, I'm dying. That's amazing.
But yeah, at home she's allowed to listen to whatever she wants.
Brilliant.
I love that. I love that. I'm going to say that all parents need my new book that I've just
Go on, Louise.
No, I mean, I have written a book. It is called Mama's Still Got It, and I'm totally plugging this. Does that matter? Sorry.
Come on, tell us about it. Love it.
It's out in June. It's basically if you've got children that are in the school years, it's about the parenting year of your kid at school, and it's kind of it starts in September all the way through to August of all the crap that we go through in the school year. Written, it's funny, hopefully, and relatable. So to know that we're not alone in this crazy year of
I can't wait to read
parenting
it,
in school.
Lou.
No,
Well
me
done.
too.
But apart from that, there is another thing that I now use. Now that we're coming into the summer months and maybe going to the beach, there's this amazing talc.
I know what you're going to say.
Can you remember
the sand
yes.
one?
And like to get sand off kids'
Yeah.
hands and feet, because my kids hate it. And you put this talc, and it's like magic, and it gets rid of all the sand. So if you're having like sandwiches on the beach, there's no sand anywhere.
What's
and
it called?
I think it's just called beach talc, to be honest.
Like, when you're rubbing their legs
Yes.
and they're like, I didn't
Yes.
want an
Yeah.
exfoliation. And so you just put this talc on and it just wipes
It's
the
like
sand off.
Just disappears.
Genius.
It's incredible.
And what's your book called?
Oh, Mama's Still Got It.
More importantly.
Have you
I've got
one,
two
Zoe?
things, because my kids, Kit had quite bad eczema, and so I had played around with so many different potions and creams and stuff for him, but I love the Walida skin food.
Yes,
So
yes.
That's actually very good.
Good for adults too, I think.
That's brilliant.
It's amazing, all those sort of dry patches that you've got. And then the second one, and it's from my childhood, so it's very nostalgic, is Uno. And
The game.
Brilliant.
yeah.
Okay, yes.
brilliant.
Love.
Every parent
Hours of
watching
fun.
this has to get
Yeah,
Uno.
Uno's brilliant.
And I'm telling you, my 4-year-old is going to be an incredible poker player. He's like that. Pick up 4. We play all the time as a family.
Yes.
And they all the kids love it. We play, I mean, hours of fun.
That's,
Uno.
yeah, that's
I've
great.
got 2. One more
on.
practical, the grow clock, which you
I
might use.
love it.
But what I found out recently, because we've had awful sleep issues till very recently, is that you can use it a lot younger than you thought. So there's the sleep fairy who, if anyone's
Magic
having
sleep fairy,
yes,
Alison.
She ended up
She
coming
was
over.
with us, yeah.
She says she's used it on babies as young as 10 months. She said that's as young as you can go, but if you can, I think people think of it as just for toddlers, but it really helps them know when they should be going to sleep and when they should be waking up.
Yeah, because they watch. Do you know what that is? It's got you wait for the. Well, you explain it.
It goes blue. You make it go blue at night, and the little stars on it. I think when they're tiny, they don't count the stars, but when they're bigger, they learn. So it stops them getting up at 4 a.m. to come into you because
So they're reading that almost like a clock
Yes.
to say, oh, it's still
and then when it
bedtime.
goes orange, it's morning. So you set it.
Unless
and
you've
then
got
the
a
other
child
thing,
that doesn't care about that. She just comes in at 4:30 anyway.
My child,
yes.
my child figured out how to change the settings.
No.
Yes.
Genius.
Even when I put the child lock on, he
So
figured it
you've
out.
got a poker player,
No.
someone who
Mine-
can
mine's a
crack
hacker.
the clock.
Yeah. Honestly, so he'd like come in at like 4 a.m. going, my clock's yellow, and I'm like, you've changed it.
Genius.
Yeah.
And then the second thing is a bit nostalgic. I love going on eBay or Etsy, and you can find old original books from our childhood. So I found an original 1981 Angelina Ballerina box set.
Oh, that's cute.
And it's really like new, and we read them every night, and it
that's
takes
lovely.
me back.
That's
Oh, I'm
really
going to
nice.
look into that because there's a book that I read as a kid.
Was it Morris's disappearing bag? Did you remember that? Does anyone else remember that book?
It's called Ivy Cottage.
Ivy Cottage! No! I just wanted to I just felt for you there.
Right? It's not called Ivy Cottage.
No, have a look.
I
I bet
will
you'll
have a-
find
I bet
them.
you'll find it.
I
Yeah.
hope so. I loved that story. Anyway.
I know, it's
I'm
a
glad
good,
that you
it's a
know.
good one. Bramley Hedge, all that stuff. Right, next up, an important interview for single parent families. Journalists Rosie Green and Katie Service sat down with Georgie to share their journeys and advice on navigating co-parenting for the best possible outcome. Well worth a watch.
Now, if you are a single parent or contemplating becoming a single parent, the next 2 guests are the women you need to hear from on how to survive and thrive on the challenges that come with parenting on your own, from toddlers through to teenagers. I'm joined by journalists Rosie Green and Katie Service, who are here to share their experiences, who are here to prove that you can have a fabulous life after divorce. And yeah, thank you so much for joining us. I'm big fans of both of yours in the same industry. So
thank you for having
thanks for giving up your time. Can you sort of maybe set the scene, Katie, with your situation and just so people watching?
Sure, I got a divorce, classic divorce kind of statistic between the 2 lockdowns when my little girl was 2 years old. And so then kind of have been since then learning to co-parent very amicably as well, but has been like, a fascinating journey, which I'm sure we're about to talk about. And I'm now, 5 months pregnant with a baby with my new partner. So very happy ending.
Happy ending. Congratulations, that's wonderful.
Thank you.
Rosie, I'm sure our viewers will recognise you. You've joined us before and you're very well known and loved.
Oh, you're very kind.
In the industry by readers. You entertain me no end with your column. For people that don't know Rosie Green, Rosie, can you fill us in on your story?
Well, my story's a bit different in that I fully signed up to the kind of, 2.4 children, the sort of whole family setup. And so my breakup came as a massive shock. So I guess when I was learning to be a single parent, it felt much it felt much more out of my control, I guess. And that was about 4 years ago. So ever since that, I'd say I've got kind of 95%, I do 95% of the parenting of my children. But also, as we go forward, learning to kind of co-parent and work that through. But also, as you say, there are some fabulous, we're success stories, aren't we, at home?
You're here smiling to prove that, it's really hard. And I think from the outside, knowing people like you, you can see that it can can only get better, but it's a really, really hard journey. How did you approach parenting? When you realised that your relationships were over?
Well, I think
what happened next?
The first realisation is that you think that, okay, maybe I'm just going to be able to, we'll parent separately. And that's completely wrong, isn't it? Because actually, or it was in my case, you know, when you're co-parenting, you're trying to do it 50-50, you know, you are still having to speak to your ex-partner and have really good, better communication than ever, actually, with them in order to parent kind of properly. So I think kind of like having a bit of a reality check was my first step, I suppose, in order
You're partnered for life. I think that's the reality.
Yeah,
you may be getting divorced, but you know, if you've got children.
Yeah, you're right. It's almost like those conversations that you didn't really need to have when you were together. You need to have
you
now.
got the left welly boot or have you got the right?
But even the more serious ones, aren't they? Like, you know, sort of how do we feel about, you know, schools? How do we feel? You know, whereas actually...
Which you might have brushed over in a marriage or
exactly.
just bumbled along with, totally.
Or thought, we'll find a way and I'll get to drive that bus or whatever. How did you get to 50-50 parenting? Because, I mean, that's something that is more and more... Rosie, I know for you that's not the case.
Yeah.
But it's very, very common now.
My parents, so common.
Yeah. My parents split up when I was under one, and I was with my mother all throughout the week. My father used to pick me up from school on a Wednesday, and then I'd have every other weekend with him, and sort of split. He actually moved to Asia, and so I spent quite a bit of time there. But I was very much with my mother, and he was is a huge part of my life, but it was definitely not the norm. I was at school with quite a lot of people who had divorced parents, and nobody had 50-50. No one was 50-50.
No.
Like,
well, I think it's probably just quite a modern approach. I mean, I just always felt that it should be 50-50, and I know that, my ex-partner did too, and I wanted my daughter to have her father there as much as I was going to be there. Like, obviously, I'd prefer to have my daughter the whole time, but not at the cost of her not having a father in her life.
did you have to go to court to get that decided, or did you have a mediator?
No. We've been really lucky. We're amicable. You know, nothing terrible's happened, and we've managed to sort it out ourselves. You know, we always felt strongly that that's how we wanted to do it. Yeah. And we've been really lucky. My little girl is very happy with 2 homes. She's got 2 homes, which she's really excited about. You know, she's got 2 beds, 2 bedrooms, double everything. Yeah.
How does that work practically? Is it a week on, a week off? Is it half the week? I know lots of people do it differently. Some do front end, back end.
Yeah. We just do beginning of the week. My ex, second half of the week, me, and then we alternate weekends. Yeah, so really I'm a 50-50 parent. I'm only a 50% mother, which is going to change. Well, it's going to be a shock back to reality when I become a full-time mother again. But yeah, it's been totally mad experiencing having this kind of like rest time almost. One of the things early on I said was so important. I wanted to make that time without my children really meaningful, you know, whether that was to like whip my ass into work and like make as much money as I could and progress my career as much as I could, you know, so that I could be there for her better and stuff, or whether it was to connect with my girlfriends and to like rest and sleep and stuff like that.
You know, you've also got to rebuild your life, so it gives you the time. I'm not underestimating the
you go through so
friendship
much trauma in divorce, so much trauma. It's horrible. Whichever way you do it, I don't know anybody that's had a nice one, you know? Yeah. And there is time that you need to heal, and if you can see that time that you have away from your child, try to reframe it as like a gift that you've been given to heal, to work, to connect, whatever, and that will hopefully help you get through it.
And I think for me, the reframing is of all, you kind of, you get what you're given in a way. So mine's almost the opposite to that. I didn't sign up to be a single parent. I grew up with a single parent, and I love very similar to you, although saw my dad less. But, you know, now when my ex left, which was really acrimonious and upsetting, he just sort of left. So actually it was just all the childcare, you know, which is all the meals, all the washing, but they, you know, my children were older. So I would just think, well, actually, and do you know, I realised, you know, and this is no disrespect to him, he was working very hard, he was often working away, but actually it made me realise that I was kind of doing it anyway. Yeah. You know, there are there are massive positives. You know, I don't have to worry about kind of co-parenting really. I mean, I do have those conversations, but in day-to-day life, it's mainly, you know, it's mainly my decisions. You know, we're all sitting on the sofa every night watching the TV.
There are swings
you
and
know, there
roundabouts,
are
and
swings every night. And you know, whilst there was bad things about my divorce, my ex doesn't have any sort of strong opinions on, you know, what they should do as their activities or what A levels they should do or all of those kind of things. So actually, I'm just kind of left to parent on my own. Yeah. Somebody said to me early on, you have to love your children more than you hate your ex. And I think that's, you know, you just, it's like actually.
My brain was thinking that one through.
And it's true, you know, you can put the children as pawns, you can do all these things, you can try and punish them, you can do all that, but actually you have to realise that they, you know, what the thing that they most want is kind of harmony, isn't it?
And a happy home and a happy mother. I mean, that's just so important. And that's why sometimes divorce is right. You want children to grow up seeing a happy role model, and children learn from modelling, don't they? I recently was working with someone, a behavioural consultant, and they're like, just remember, you know, they learn from modelling. You have to talk about everything.
That's what you do.
But it's a lot of what you do. In terms of talking though, and messaging, communication, I mean, obviously very different scenarios. How open were you with them?
They were sort of devastated, and their lives had been thrown, you know, into it, you know, was so destabilised. So, you know, you're kind of, for me, I was coping with my own shock, but then also realised I had these two children who were really kind of hurting and really needed me. So it was very hard to know how much I should do for myself, even if that meant leaving them with my mother, or, you know, how much time I should invest in myself. And I really did realise that, you know, there is a sort of element of you have to fix your life, you know, your life mask, because, you know, I've realised that I'm the sort of person keeping the show on the road. And if I haven't exercised or eaten or seen my girlfriends or done those things, I can't parent properly. So it's just trying to find that balance.
Katie, with a 2-year-old, I mean, I was under 1. I know nothing else. Which is sort of sad. But also, I didn't witness any horrors in that respect.
Definitely the same as my daughter. She doesn't remember that we ever lived together. But I think, messaging wise from me to her, I've always wanted to, I've wanted her to think we're kind of really good friends, you know. I never say anything bad. I never slag them off. I never say more than I should. And so I think it's just like constantly messaging that everybody's on the same team.
Which must be hard.
Yes, in your situation.
That is hard.
To be the bigger person and not.
It is, and I hope, none of us are perfect. I hope I've certainly done my best, I hope, in that thing. But then also there's an element of, you know, I think if children don't know the truth about certain stuff, it can kind of eat away and they can start to blame themselves for things. So it's about how much truth they need to know, and then how much you kind of just sort of smooth over. And I think you're absolutely right.
And letting your morals go out of it and go, you know what, actually, I might want them to know that, but maybe they just
exactly. They don't need to know.
You don't choose your parents, do you?
Exactly. And there's an element of they do not need to know the nitty gritty.
Do they ask a lot of questions? Because my little girl, because she doesn't remember, she likes to ask, like, what happened when you got married and when did you meet, and all of those things I suppose would be like normal narrative in like a family that was together.
Do you know, I think they sort of went into their shells, and what I was worried about was that they were going to kind of just pollute all those memories, and that they wouldn't believe that they were happy memories. And so for a while there was minimal talking about any of it, and certainly almost in a way they wouldn't want to look at kind of photo albums and things, but I feel it's coming back. I mean, the classic thing, time's a healer, it really is, you know, and actually as everyone adjusts to the sort of new status quo, it gets easier. But I would certainly say it's great certainly for my kids to have other people to talk to as well, you know, sort of family members.
Which sort of brings me on to support networks. And I mean, what advice do you have? How important was your support network to you? I'm sure hugely. Friends and family mean everything in those times, right? But
they do, practically and mentally.
Getting out and living again.
Yeah.
You know,
oh my God, childcare.
Childcare is everything. Yes, definitely.
If you've got a nanny, if it's like daycare, if it's like babysitter network, you know.
And my friends were amazing at that. You know, they really were, and they kind of have, you know, they'd have the children for sleepovers, and they'd, you know, they cook meals and you know, they're older, my pair, but actually they still need that kind of, they still need that security and to know people are looking out for them, and otherwise they'd just eat Doritos all day, you know, if I'm out.
What about, you know, the legal side? I mean, Katie, amazing that you did it without going to court, so you had a meeting. Do you have any advice?
You know, I had a lawyer who describes herself as collaborative, so if you are thinking of going through this process, there are, you know, there are some solicitors that sign up to collaborative divorce, and that means, you know, she from the outset was like, you know, I'm not interested in who's done what to who or who's done, you know, what we need to work out is what will make the children's life more stable, what you need, and I'm, you know, this
and
is
then
not
how we
about
get you out of
battle.
here.
Yeah. Whereas I have seen just lawyers rack up, you know, it's just the bills are just insane.
I did hear from a friend in the world of family law recently that a mediator combined with a therapist was a really effective strategy at, you know, staying on that shared path of let's get the best.
I
think therapist is essential.
And actually going back to, did you get any advice on how to do it? My therapist gave me the best advice on Christmas. One person gets 7 days before Christmas, including Christmas Day, and then the other person gets Boxing Day and 7 days afterwards. And then the next year, the condition is the next year you flip.
Yeah.
Okay.
And like one person has to go first and be brave.
Yeah.
But then after that, it's completely fair.
Yeah.
And like that was one of the best bits of advice I got. Yeah.
That's brilliant. Best bit of advice my solicitor said to me was, don't use me as your therapist. So, you know, like, actually, I charge a lot more per hour. So, you know, make sure.
I'm an expensive therapist,
I mean, the only thing I'd say about the mediator is that I think that's brilliant if you're if you're somewhere near the same page. For me, I knew that I was so broken that I couldn't fight my own battles. And actually, I think a mediator, you still have to have your kind of guts, you know, your sort of things about you, because I think, you know, generally men are much more used to having conversations about money. They're much more used to being bullish about things. You know, I mean, I can't even, you know, get like 50 quid off my new car or whatever, you know. So I just think actually for some people it's great, but I think in a high stress situation it can not work.
And before we finish, any final words of wisdom, advice on the children?
I would say the other thing is you just can't believe how much love children need. I would just say just keep pouring the love into them, however old they are.
I think it doesn't have to be a bad situation. You are still in control of your situation. You can still make it, you know, whatever your situation, you can still give them the best childhood that you can and as much love as you can, and just try and remember that.
And they need a happy home, don't they?
They do.
Whether that's one parent
and they
or
might,
two.
if they have two homes, they're super lucky, you know, two of everything, and they get a lot of presents.
And if you're in the trenches, somebody said to me early doors, was like, you want to look back in 5 years' time and be proud of how you've behaved. You know, so I think that's a really good piece of advice.
Yeah, dig deep. Well, thank you both so much. I feel like we could talk and talk on this topic, and we will come back to it, but that's it for today. However, do follow Katie and her new Substack. We'll put links in the show notes below, and Rosie's book, How to Heal a Broken Heart, is one. Hodge was just saying she sent to numerous girlfriends, and podcasts and lots more. Anyway, thank you both again so much.
Thanks.
Thank you both. It's so wonderful to see you both so happy and thriving. And Rosie's book is well worth a read for anyone going through a tough breakup or a divorce. Speaking of relationships, I think no one really warns you that having children, or babies, but as they grow up, really does change a marriage or a relationship in parts. Do you guys have any advice, or did that happen to you?
Well, yeah, I mean, it does change your relationship, and it's something that people don't really talk about. I remember when I was pregnant with my first, and a friend of mine who was a seasoned mother, I remember her saying to me, just so you know, you will argue with your partner. Well, she was right, and it made me realise that it's okay to argue with your partner. It is going to happen. Sometimes I find it difficult to talk to my husband because it can sometimes escalate into an argument and then we don't get anywhere. So what I sometimes do is I'll just text and then we'll regroup and then figure something out. But it is hard.
Yeah.
It is hard because I feel like I have given up a lot to be a mother, whereas, you know, my husband got 2 weeks off when the baby was born and then back to work, back to the gym after work, go to the pub after work, and I'm at home still recovering.
That's the resentment creeps in at that point.
It's really early for that resentment to creep in straight away. And however, my brother had a baby a year ago, and because of COVID, he works from home now. So it's a different dynamic. Yeah. He's at home. So, and him and his partner kind of said from the very, very, very start, we're co-parents. We do everything 50-50. Yeah. And I must admit that they have done that. And that's something that we didn't experience in the early days. And then I kind of felt like that's kind of continued throughout all the 3 kids. Like I'm like the main parent.
I think for me, it's my first pregnancy. Yeah. The reality of having a child, I didn't even know what that looks like to be able to have those conversations. And then you're in it, and you've already set the standards of the relationship. So like for me, my parenting experience is so different to my partner's, even though we live in the same house and have a child.
Very interesting.
And part of it is breastfeeding. Like you have to be the person doing the night, and it's very hard once they're on the bottle to be like, hey, now it's 50-50. Yeah. It's just...
but you're right about the whole breastfeeding thing. And that, again, like the resentment comes in. I remember breastfeeding and my husband next to me, like snoring away. And then he would have the audacity in the morning to say, I didn't sleep very well.
So tired.
Like, oh my God, you have no idea.
I really think it's our responsibility, though, as mothers, to really highlight those things. Because I think a lot of the time, like you said, the communication can break down so much in the first, 3 to 6 months. And then, we hear it so much on Made by Mamas that the partner has moved into the next door room. Yeah. And, the mother might be exclusively breastfeeding, so they're up, they don't understand. There's a complete breakdown in communication. And I feel like my relationship is very equal. Like Doza actually probably taught me how to be a mother because he was already a father when I met him. So I was almost learning from him. And so even when I was breastfeeding, he would be like up, puffing up my pillow and getting me some water and bringing me toast and be very...
Gosh!
I know, right?
What?
Yeah. But I always stated that I didn't want to be doing it on my own, that I was having a baby with you because I wanted to go on this journey with you. And it's been brilliant. For us, it was more the physical side of things, which was like when before we had the kids, it was like, woohoo, let's go out, bounce, wow. And then afterwards I was like, I feel like a whale because my boobs had just got milk coming out of them. And then that was lost. And so that is what we had to work on getting back because a lot of the time that is lost for a really long period. And then you're just living as sort of strangers.
Actually, I did a poll on my Instagram stories to see how often couples with children have sex. And what do you reckon? And I'll tell you what the answer is.
Twice a week.
Twice a week?
Maximum.
For people with small babies?
With small babies.
What, newborn?
Like between the years of 0 to 3, sorry.
Once a week?
Okay, well the average on my stories was once every 3 months.
Wow.
Yeah.
Do you know how many people voted?
About 5,000.
Wow.
I had messages of women saying, oh my God, thank you, I'm normal. Because I was worried that I wasn't having enough sex. It just made a lot of people feel this is normal.
It ebbs and flows all the time. Yeah. It's not this like 3 or 4 times a week. It's like some months you'll feel really great and you'll be able to connect with your partner. And other months, just communicate that you're not feeling it. Your libido's dropped off and you're too tired. And that's fine. But I go back to that lack of communication because once that stops, it's a one-way ticket to nowhere.
I just did a reel at the weekend because our littlest had reflux. She's now almost 2, but she still has reflux. But we didn't realise. Anyway, we had crazy sleep deprivation that was peaked again over Christmas. So for about 3 months, it was like 3 hours a night and, awful. But I think I cried every day, a little bit here and there for 3 months straight at least. You're sort of, coming in and doing your work at that level of tension. Of course that affects your relationship. And I think in my mind, I was like, ride it out because in the sense that you love that person, you do, you're not that angry, irritated, arguments happening day and night. But that then, since we've been sleeping, like things are so much better. And I think that you just have to almost ignore the sort of feelings that your brain's telling you because they're not real and rational. Like sleep deprivation makes you feel like an alien. So you just have to sort of take a deep breath and forgive each other and
cling on.
Ride it out.
Which
might not be the most comforting advice for some, but I hope it is a little bit.
I think that's the best advice because it really is a roller coaster and you've got to remind yourself like it's just for a season. And outside of this, you and your partner are actually quite good and you like each other. And as soon as you're back in that reality of parenthood, suddenly there's tension. So like stepping away and just like you say, just
Actually, I've got one
holding
more
on.
quick tip.
Yeah.
Instead of being like, let's go on date night where we sit on our own in a restaurant and end up talking about the kids, go out with like really close mates. Maybe another
Really
two
fun.
or three mates. Because you always see the best side of each other.
So true.
And the other mate will make him laugh your head off, and then, you know, you've got the girl to talk to. And that for us is a really like a spirit uplifting. It doesn't have to be a romantic date.
I totally agree. I think that is such good advice. We do that quite often. And there was a time recently where we had an argument before we had guests arriving. And so when our guests arrived, we were a bit like, and then our friends arrived, and then you kind of settle into it, and you know, and then my husband and I kind of caught each other's eye across the table, and we're both happy and we're laughing, and it was like, oh, actually, I really do love you. Like, you're really cool.
I just got goosebumps. Is that really sad?
No, it's
but
really
it is cute,
nice.
because then you're like, you see each other laughing, and
and
you remember.
you remember of what you were before you had children. And when we do have time away for ourselves with friends, or even if it's just us, you do kind of go like, oh yeah,
Hi you.
I remember you. I remember you.
It's true.
I also want to say, because and I've been quite open about this, that, you know, Dozza and I, my husband, had pretty much one of the worst years of our life, 2021 coming into 2022, and we really needed to sort of pull our relationship apart and figure out who we were again as a couple after our kids. And now we see a therapist every week. Michael is an absolute legend. I swear to God, our relationship is in the best place it's ever been. But I'm not frightened to say, and I don't think anybody should be, that actually sometimes you do need a bit of extra help to kind of navigate through all that chaos. And to really, you know, you're saying about, you know, maybe raising stuff between the two of you can lead into a fight. You know, now he's given us these amazing tools where I have to say to Dozza now, is this a good time? And he has to say back to me, yes, it is, or no, it's not. Can you give me 10 minutes? And then we talk. That's just a simple relationship tip.
Yes.
But it's really helpful.
This is really helpful. I don't really want it to end, but so the very stylish content creator and new mum Stephanie WAXBERG is sharing what she just can't leave the house without for her 6-month-old baby Valentina.
Hi, I'm Stephanie WAXBERG, and I'm a brand consultant and new mummy to baby Valentina, and today I'm showing you what's in our baby bag. So let's get started. So this is our baby bag. It's from Gem & B, and it's the Jemima bag, and we absolutely love it. It's got stacks of pockets in here. It comes with a little travel changing mat and a little cool bag, so I would definitely recommend this one. So first up, lots of nappies. We have a good stash in here, and we always use Pampers. We've tried a couple of other brands, but we always go back to these because they just work. Then baby wipes, we love Kit & Kin. This is just a really nice brand, and I really like the ethos behind it. Then for nappy cream, Valentina's a very lucky little girl. She has Dr. Barbara Sturm baby bum cream. This was a present from the girls at Net-a-Porter, and it's just a really nice barrier cream. We also use a lot of Weleda products. So this is their all-purpose balm. Super nice, and they also have a really nice white mallow range that's really great for sensitive skin too. Then we have this Belle Enfant oil. It's a nourishing oil for face, body and hair, and it's a really nice mix of natural oils, and it just smells lovely too. Then a couple of change of clothes. We get a lot of basics from Mori, from H&M and from John Lewis. And then for special pieces, we really like Bon Point, La Coquette, and then there's a really nice little online independent store that's called Millie and John that's really cute for kind of bloomers and little rompers as well, so I definitely recommend them. Then onto feeding, we always have a bottle in here. This one's from Dr. Brown's. It has the vent system inside, and again, they just work. We really like these ones. We have just started weaning Valentina. She's just started eating some food, which is super cute, and she's really liking trying everything. But I was actually quite nervous about starting the weaning process because I just wanted everything to be really safe, and also just kind of like natural, good quality food. And so there's a brand called V&Me who actually have just started doing a really lovely weaning kit, and it just makes everything really easy and super safe, healthy, and just great. So I have a couple of pouches in here. They send a couple of pouches per day There's some pureed vegetables and then some full vegetables as well. So today we have aubergine and then some roasted aubergine. That's in our little cool bag just to keep it good for when she's going to have her lunch. And then they also send a little feeding kit for you as well. So you're completely set up to go, a little spoon, and then a cute little bowl from Lightwood. And then to make sure that everything is all nice and clean before we get started, we have Milton wipes, which are just super easy antibacterial wipes. And then I also love this Vital Baby sanitizing water as well. You can just spray this and it's really effective. And that is about it. It's almost time for Valentina to have some food, so I hope you really enjoyed seeing what was in my bag, and thanks for watching. Bye!
Guys, thank you so much. I feel like I've learned a lot.
That was amazing.
That was therapy, a good laugh. Where was the booze?
Next time, yeah.
Thank you for coming though. And also, thank you, Stephanie. It was like the Mary Poppins bag there, just kept going. That's it for today. Thank you so much to Kierra, Louise, Zoe, and of course to Emma, Laura, Cathy, Rosie, and Katie. Next week, we're back to normal with an evening dressing style guide, a food box taste test, backstage beauty, a day at the SL office, plus lots more. In the meantime, we would love it if you guys could comment below, give us a thumbs up, and do subscribe if you haven't yet. Have a lovely week.